Before the episode starts, we wanted to issue a content warning for mentions of self-harm in the song Heaven's Blade by Coil. If you feel you may find this disturbing, we would suggest you either skip the song or proceed with caution. Otherwise, we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of Double Vision here on Spotify. I am Kyle.
I am Joanna.
And we are a bit out of our depth, but we bring enthusiasm and hopefully charm.
Yeah. We really hope we bring charm.
No guarantees.
I think it's kind of just dawning on me now that this is going to be our first ever public episode.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. When I was testing out the microphone before, I was like, oh God, I really hate my voice. I'm now going to do a
Good thing we decided to start a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. But, we're doing it because we love it, not because we're trying to make anyone happy. So, other than ourselves.
Yeah. So for anyone who is tuning in for the first time ever, and that could be a fair few of you, that could be everyone who's listening might already know, but for anyone who doesn't, this is a podcast that Kyle and I started during university when we were part of Surge Radio at the University of Southampton. And obviously when the pandemic started, we had only been doing the show with Surge Radio for a few months, maybe only 2. And it was it was a very abrupt ending to a project that I think we both had wanted to continue but had no idea how to. And so towards the end of 2020, I just floated the idea to Kyle that maybe we just continue it in a very
casual,
a very DIY fashion.
Yeah.
I would just create the episode on my computer and upload it wherever for whomever wishes to listen. Unfortunately, I didn't think at least that you could post things online with copyrighted music. And then I found out a few months ago that you could use this thing called Anchor through Spotify to create a radio show.
Yeah, so we kind of had this going for a little while post-university, just during the lockdown, because you know how it is during the lockdown. And it gave us a little something to kind of feed our energy into. And we were just making these episodes and basically just producing them for our friends. I mean, producing them for ourselves first and foremost. And then we would share them with our close friends. And if they were interested, they would listen. And it was kind of all through a Google Drive link and everything like that. So it was literally we would have, we didn't even know how many people were listening, but maybe 3 or 4 listeners beside ourselves.
It was a very clunky process.
Yeah, but it was awesome. And it was a great way to kind of spend those kind of those hours during the lockdown.
Definitely.
But now, like Joanna said, we have the opportunity to do it through Spotify, which is definitely something I thought we could never do, to be honest with you, with the copyrighted music.
Me neither.
Thought no way. But here we are. So that's basically the kind of start. And we started this because Joanna and I are kind of really different from one another, but through kind of university and living together, we became really close friends. And we realized we both really love music, but we have really different and sometimes overlapping tastes in music. So we could share our music taste with one another and we could see what the other person thinks. And it's not about, agreeing all the time that we love each other's music, but it's here's something that I really love and I think you might like it, or here's something that I really love and I'm interested to know what you think about it. And so there's been plenty of times where we kind of just been I'm really glad you like that song, but I don't. So it's
Good for you, sis. Personally, I don't see it.
Yeah, exactly. So we try and just give each other our honest opinions about what we think about this music. And it's a really cool process because I don't know about you, but sometimes you can find yourself in a little bit of a bubble, listening to the kind of same sort of music over and over. And it can be kind of difficult to break free of that. And one really cool way of doing it is just getting recommendations from your friends. What do you listen to? And there's definitely songs that I would have never found had Joanna not shared them with me. And I like to think the opposite's true, but
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so that's the general vibe of the show. This is our first episode, so let's see how it goes. I think we're gonna iron out the details as we go along.
Yeah.
But yeah, did I miss anything?
The premise of this first episode, we wanted to give an introduction to like the kind of music we listen to, but ideally we want to keep the episodes below 5 hours, you know? So trying to come up with a handful of songs that perfectly encapsulate our individual tastes in music is extremely difficult and will probably require more than one episode. But we've done our best to select 4 songs each that we think are a good representation of either our taste in music now or our taste in music as it has evolved over the years.
So we quite naively set out with the theme being music that kind of describes us, and realized how difficult that is to boil down to 4 songs. So I think this is kind of a theme that we'll keep going, or a kind of episode that we'll run with to kind of the duration that it deserves, because there's so many songs that I think will describe us. And when I was listening through, I was like, is this music that describes me right now? Because I'm going through constant phases with music. Or is this like songs that are really distinct memories from my childhood and stuff like that? And we realized that it's just all of it. And so it's such an all-encompassing theme that I think it's something we're going to have to run with for a while. And beyond that, we'll chip in some episodes like what we did before, where we'll do, for example, like our favorite hip hop or songs which are really distinct memories from our childhoods, or songs that have really impacted our lives and such. So hopefully there's a bit of diversity, and throughout listening to these episodes, you guys begin to understand more about us and our music taste. Or maybe you won't. Maybe each time we do an episode, you get more and more confused because of the diversity. But who knows? Either way, we're going to have fun making them, and we just hope that other people can kind of share that fun as well.
Absolutely. And speaking of sharing that fun, we are always open to and encourage guests on our show. If you would like to join us on the show, please give us a message, and we would be really happy to have you on.
How can they contact us?
I've set up an Instagram, which I will plug at the end. It's going to incorporate a bunch of different content.
Yeah, we've got an Instagram now. We're moving up in the world.
Yeah. We are actively promoting a podcast that at one point was just Google Drive files.
And before that was just student radio. So,
yeah,
we've made leaps and bounds, really.
Ironically enough, the student radio one was probably our biggest listenership, even if it was a bit of a captive audience since it was playing in the Union.
All right, anyways, I think we've given enough preamble.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys kind of get an idea of what the show's all about and what we're hoping to do with today's show. It's a little bit difficult to condense it all down into 10 minutes, but hopefully we've done a good job of it. And so, democratically decided over a game of rock, paper, scissors, we've decided that Joanna will go first. So I'm interested to know, what's your first song of the very first episode?
So my first song is by St. Vincent, someone whom I have been a fan of for years. Like, she's one of my favorite artists. She has covered a myriad of different genres, ranging from like noise rock to pop, and like indie rock sort of things. And yeah, the song is called Rattlesnake. It's from her, I believe, 4th album, her self-titled album from 2014. And I will talk about it more afterwards. But yes, I hope you enjoy.